What do manners maketh? How do nice boys kiss? And how many times can one man go swimming in a lake?
Why should I waste my time listening to
Because I have a right to be, and I have a voice!
The answer to these and many more questions all coming up. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Colin Firth performances.
Son muito claras para mim.
Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at the best roles ever played by Colin Firth. An Oscar winner with 2 BAFTAs to his name, plus a Golden Globe, this man has consistently proven one of the world's finest thespians.
Nobody knows what to say.
Number 10, Jamie, Love Actually. We open with our actor as one part of an ensemble cast, and with one of Love Actually's most memorable stories.
Oh God, she's in.
It doesn't start well for Colin Firth's Jamie, who arrives home unexpectedly early only to find his girlfriend having it off with his brother. Emotionally devastated, the writer retreats to a cottage in France and enlists the help of a Portuguese housekeeper.
It's my favorite time of day. Driving you.
While he labours with his work and everything he does right ends up in the water, romance blossoms despite the often laughable language barrier. Given his initial heartbreak, Firth cuts a lonely figure at first, but by the movie's end, he has the whole village behind him, literally. Number 9, Lord Wessex, Shakespeare in Love. Costume dramas are a somewhat specialist subject for Firth, with various roles dotted throughout his back catalogue, but this outing as Lord Wessex for Shakespeare in Love garnered especially high praise.
My Lady Viola,
My lord.
I have spoken with your father.
So, my lord, I speak with him every day.
An impeccably dressed but out of his luck aristocrat, Wessex is betrothed to Gwyneth Paltrow's Viola, who loves Shakespeare, who loves her back, and Wessex knows it.
I cannot shed blood in her house, but I will cut your throat anon. Do you have a name?
All in all, it's an elaborate and entertaining entanglement of relations worthy of something the playwright might have penned himself. And while Firth is a supporting role within a high-profile cast, it's one that truly stands out, and not just for his burgundy threads in the dueling scene.
Now I'll show you your place, which is in hell!
Number 8, Johannes Vermeer, Girl with a Pearl Earring. Getting inside an artist's head is no mean feat, but that's exactly the task which Firth faced in our next film. Opposite Scarlett Johansson's dutiful maid Greet, Firth's Vermeer is a quiet man with talent to spare.
Stay.
However, as he spends most of his time locked inside his studio, he's emotionally distant from the rest of his family. And when Greet is invited to sit down for a now famous portrait, his wife's jealousy takes over.
Look at me. Now turn your head, not your shoulders. Look at me.
Based on the award-winning novel by Tracy Chevalier, Girl with a Pearl Earring was also nominated for 10 BAFTAs, though was unfortunate to come away empty-handed. Nevertheless, Firth's Dutch master is a masterclass in acting.
This is called a lens. Beams of reflected light from that corner pass through it into the box so that we can see it here.
Is it real?
It's an image.
Number 7, Eric Lomax, The Railway Man. To another adaptation of an internationally successful book, but a very different role. The Railway Man sees Firth star as Eric Lomax, a British World War II officer who's captured as a Japanese prisoner of war and set to work building a train line.
I did not expect you to be alive.
No, of course she didn't. She thought she'd got away with it.
With a script based on Lomax's memoirs, he falls under suspicion of being a spy, is repeatedly tortured, and is left psychologically traumatized for years afterwards.
Because no one would believe it.
The movie sees Firth's character trying to put his past to bed by finding and confronting one of his captors, but closure doesn't come as simply as he'd hoped. Number 6, Robert Lawrence MC, Tumble Down.
I keep thinking it's all over the pillow.
Before big-time movies became his bread and butter, Firth was busy carving out a career on TV, most notably with this role as a returning Falklands War soldier.
Stop smiling, Sophie, say something.
What to say?
The one-off drama Tumble Down proved hugely controversial at the time of its release, seemingly exposing some of the worst aspects of life in the British forces.
You know, you're the first person I've seen in combat dress for months.
I'm sorry?
You must enjoy wearing it.
When Firth's Lawrence is badly injured, he struggles to come to terms with his new way of life, but receives little help from the government or from society in general. The film received 9 nominations at the 1989 BAFTA TV Awards, and Firth was widely saluted for his unflinching portrayal.
We know what's to the front, we don't know what's behind. I'm senior, I should take the right hand side.
Number 5, Mr. Darcy, Pride and Prejudice.
I can offer no justification. It was an arrogant presumption based on a failure to recognize your true feelings.
The early 90s proved a quieter period in Firth's career until this iconic role, which earned him household name status. As Mr. Darcy in the BBC 6-part adaptation of Jane Austen's classic work, Firth established himself as a unique romantic lead.
Mr. Darcy?
Miss Bennet.
Charming, yes. Good-looking, certainly. Well-spoken, very. But Firth's character carried something else as well. An awkward aloofness which has since become his trademark.
My affections and wishes are unchanged. But one word from you will silence me on this subject forever.
The story sees him work to woo Jennifer Ely's Elizabeth Bennet, winning the hearts of his audience in the meantime, sealing the deal with that scene. A wetter shirt there never was. Number 4, Mark Darcy, Bridget Jones's Diary.
I'll be right with you.
It's said that Helen Fielding was so inspired by TV's Pride and Prejudice while writing Bridget Jones that she just had to have a Darcy character for her own work.
Maybe this was the mysterious Mr. Right I'd been waiting my whole life to meet.
So when the big screen came calling, Firth was one of the first names on the cast list. He's one of 2 men dueling for Bridget's heart in this definitive rom-com, the other being Hugh Grant's insatiable Lothario, Daniel Cleaver. Next to Cleaver, Firth's Darcy is uncomfortable, unfashionable, self-conscious, and forever on the back foot.
I like you. Very much.
Apart from the smoking, and the drinking, and the vulgar mother, and the verbal
No,
diarrhea.
I like you very much.
But he can grapple in the streets with the best of them, and he's one half of one of cinema's most memorable smooches.
Nice boys don't kiss like that.
Oh yes, they f***ing do.
Number 3, George Falconer, A Single Man.
Looking in the mirror, staring back at me, isn't so much a face.
Taking the lead role in Tom Ford's directorial debut, Firth fashions himself as a grieving widow in A Single Man for one of his most celebrated performances.
I love this.
You're insane.
Come on, old man.
A film framed around the day leading up to George's planned suicide following the death of his partner Jim, news of which he's told over a heartbreaking phone call. Firth plays out his intense battle with grief and depression.
Well, thank you for calling.
But as he journeys through his final day, seeing things as if for the first time, is there a chance that his mind can be changed? With plenty of close-ups, long cuts and poignant scenes, Firth lays it all on the table, and we're with him for every rise and fall.
You know the only thing that's made the whole thing worthwhile? It's been those few times when I've been able to really, truly connect with another human being.
Number 2, Harry Hart, Kingsman, The Secret Service.
I killed all those people.
Pigeonhole this man at your peril. Firth defied expectation by stepping out as Harry Hart in Kingsman: The Secret Service for a James Vaughan movie which took the typical spy film and turned it on its head.
I'm a Catholic whore, currently enjoying Congress out of wedlock with my black Jewish boyfriend who works in a military abortion clinic.
As a senior figure within a super slick intel agency, Hart, aka Galahad, takes the joyriding Eggsy under his wing for this most stylish saunter through the life of an international badass. Armed with an umbrella and an unfinished pint of Guinness, he speaks like a gentleman, but don't be deceived.
I'd appreciate it enormously if you could just leave us in peace until I finish this lovely pint of Guinness.
Manners are important, but so's being able to waste a room full of people at a moment's notice. It's not Firth's only spy role, but it's his best.
Manners maketh man.
Before we unveil our top pick, here's a few honourable mentions.
I'm very sorry, Uncle. I know it was all my fault. I promise it won't happen again.
Whenever I read one of these interviews where the writer says, "This is how I felt the morning I woke up to meet the Pope. This is how I felt when the Pope greeted me and how the Pope reminded me so much of my very best friend Mike," I always think, who the f*** is Mike?
Number 1, King George VI, The King's Speech. Today's winning role also bagged Firth his first Oscar, as the actor famed for playing the gentleman rose to the very top of British high society.
Strictly business. No
Personal nonsense.
But his part as King George VI was no stereotypical portrayal of a decorated royal. Thrust onto the throne by the abdication of his brother, Edward VIII, he must tackle a lifelong speech impediment in order to deliver radio addresses to his people.
Long pauses are good. They add solemnity to great occasions.
Well, I'm the solemnest king who ever lived.
What follows is a testing relationship with his unconventional speech therapist, but one that promises results. A well-respected figure but vulnerable at the same time, it's an amalgamation of everything Firth is famous for, and it's his finest moment on film.
With God's help, we shall prevail.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.